Welcome to Northeast Current. My name is Mike Lally. I'll be your host this morning. And joining us is Julia Havey, the author of The Vice-Busting Diet. This is endorsed by Dr. Oz. And Julia is going to show us how to eat healthy, be fit, and feel good. Julia, listen, what percentage of people in America actually stick to their diets?
Well, what's alarming is 70% of Americans are considered overweight. 38% of those are considered morbidly obese. So we have a lot of overweight people, yet 71% of people who have the best of intentions, they have willpower, they have the desire to get thin and get healthy, they throw in the towel by the end of the first week. 71% of people.
Wow.
And I think that's because diets don't work. They're trying to go about weight loss by changing everything they're doing just simply because it's day one of a diet. I think it makes a lot more sense to help someone gradually change their lifestyle.
Yeah. And what's the word diet mean?
Well, diet should mean the food indicative to a species, but we've come to let it mean to us some short-term restricted caloric intake program meant to bring about frustration and temporary weight loss. That's not what diet means.
Right.
It's supposed to be just the food that you eat.
Well, Julia, you have an interesting journey is how you came about here. Could you tell us how that happened and about your efforts to lose weight?
I used to be 305 pounds. I was a very, very large woman. I call it now, looking back, unhappiness manifested in my thighs.
Wow.
I just was very unhappy, and I ate and I ate and I ate for comfort. And I ate a lot of the wrong, very unhealthy foods, specifically ice cream. That was the worst thing that I ate in the biggest quantity. So I just looked at my lifestyle and I thought, you know what, something's got to change. And I said, ice cream. I'm not eating that anymore. I cut that out of my life, and over a period of 15 months, I went on to lose 130 pounds. Now, obviously, there were other changes that I made along the way. But what got me here today to be able to talk with you, I'd regained some of that weight, about 40 pounds of it. And I'm lucky. You know, I have 2 published books. Dr. Oz endorsed my book. I have every product known to mankind sent to me to try, or I go try them so I can tell my readership what they're about, how they work. Well, there I am at 42 years of age, 30 pounds overweight, and you know, being in the media, every pound matters. I didn't look so good on camera, and I needed to do something about it. Nothing was working, so I was sent some of this in the mail, and I tried it. I just did exactly what the directions said, and I could not believe that it worked for me. I was so used to every product I ever bought never doing what it delivered. And this did. So I feel compelled to tell people about it. It works really well. It worked for me, and I've seen it work for tens of thousands of other people.
Oh. Well, tell us about PGX and what it can do for us, about losing weight, and eating healthy, being more healthy.
Well, Everything Natural here in town, they brought me in to talk to a lot of their customers, people from the community that wanted to come and hear me speak, because PGX is a tough thing to understand. You look at the bottle, helps you lose weight, helps you stay full. Well, what is it? It was created about 15 years ago. Physicians who were treating insulin-resistant and diabetic patients were getting increasingly frustrated because they couldn't get these people to drink or eat enough fiber to stabilize their blood sugar. So they asked the researchers, please find us a super fiber. So for 7 years in a clinical research university setting, they combined every plant fiber on earth. They weren't getting what the doctors needed. When they stumbled upon the 3 fibers in PGX, it's called polyglycoplex. It's sodium alginate, glucomannan, and xanthan. When they put those 3 fibers together, it bonded, it became its own novel complex, it's patent pending, but it nailed what the doctors wanted. They were seeing blood sugars that on a typical day, typical American, your blood sugar's going up and down, just like a roller coaster. 6 weeks on PGX flatlined the blood sugar, absolutely flatlined it. So it was originally brought out for insulin-resistant and for diabetic patients. In the store, they still have a blend with mulberry. A lot of diabetics like to take that blend. But a side effect started happening. The people using it for their blood sugar were reporting weight loss. So they went back into clinical settings to see why were people losing weight. It's because the fiber is so viscous, it's so voluminous, it expands in the stomach, so the stomach feels full when the individual goes to eat. So the stomach quits sending the appetite hormone to the brain, saying that they're hungry to keep eating. They actually feel full, and the brain speaks to the stomach the right language. So we're not feeling hungry all the time, and you maintain that feeling of fullness for hours after the meal. So it's a dieter's absolute best tool.
Well, that's similar to a treatment that the doctors used to use when they used to insert a balloon in the stomach. Am I correct? Where they used to do that, and they would.
I don't know of that procedure, but it's like sounds a lot like gastric bypass or any of the others. It's taking up the available space in the stomach.
Right.
It wasn't that the balloon made people lose weight. It was that the stomach quit sending appetite hormones to the brain because such a small area, when it filled with food, the appetite hormones quit going to the brain. So yes, I mean, without knowing more about that, very much the same.
It sounds like it's similar as that treatment because it's taking up more space and it's doing it in a natural way, and plus you're getting other benefits from it.
Exactly. You get the benefits of fiber, of the blood sugar stabilizing. And I don't know how long the balloon would stay in someone's stomach, but, you know, I've blown up a balloon for my kid's birthday, and a couple of days later it's deflated on the kitchen counter. And there were probably some issues with that surgery, which is why it's not around anymore today. And gastric bypass can be so dangerous. This is all natural. It's safe. It's healthy. There's no stimulants. There's nothing artificial. So I feel very comfortable telling my most overweight reader, who may be 800 pounds, down to someone who wants to lose 10 pounds, this will help them, and help them safely.
So are we seeing people more and more being more concerned about the quality of the food they're putting in their bodies as compared to the processed foods that they would be taking into the body more?
I'd like to say yes. You know, I would really like to say that you're right, that yes, more people are concerned. We're maybe starting to turn the corner to where people are realizing they should eat organic, they should eat healthier. But again, the world I live in is the person that's 800 pounds, 500 pounds, 300 pounds. They're eating fast food. They're drinking soft drinks. I think their level of concern is simply how to get healthy. We can't take them from eating at fast food 3 times a day and drinking soft drinks to suddenly eating all organic. That's a huge slope of change. But is that where I'd like them to end up? Absolutely. But over time.
Now, we see lots of fad diets and things out there. So, I mean, why do we see so many books and programs that are out there?
What mystifies me is that the same author can come out with a new diet book every couple of years with a new technique. If what they said was so good a few years ago, why have they changed it to a complete different manner of eating? I will never say anything other than lifestyle change. We have to break our worst habits, but why are there so many fad diets? Because they sell. But do they work? That's the problem. 98% of people who lose weight on these fad diets, on typical diets that we think of, 98% of people gain it back within 5 years. And 90% of them gain back more than they lost. So the prevalence of fad diets, I don't think will ever go away. But caveat emptor, buyer beware. If you fall for it, you'll fall for anything, and the weight's going to come right back. But fortunately, I'll be here when it does, and I'll help them do it the right way.
There you go. And a lot of the diets, it depends, because some diets work for some people and some don't work for other people.
Well, exactly. I mean, a fad diet will only work for some people. But they say any diet will work if you stick with it. Short-term restricted caloric intake program, cutting calories is cutting calories. But I think we should define if a diet works for us or not if you can keep the weight off. And granted, I lost 130 pounds. I regained 30. That's still a huge success story, you know, considering 98% of people gain it all back and 90% gain back more.
Right.
So I think a diet shouldn't be able to say it works unless everyone using it loses the weight and keeps it off. That's a diet that works.
Okay, so now we know that the people will, I mean, we do know people you need to get some exercise in your life. Obviously, you have to burn off some of the calories. And one of the main things is I don't have any time. So, but there are ways to make sure you're getting some exercise. I mean, even if it's walking. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, I love when people say they don't have enough time. I'll say, oh, I understand, you know, life's busy. But I'll sneak back into the conversation later and say, what's your favorite TV show? And they always have an answer for that. Well, there's 30 minutes or an hour they can free up to exercise, and they don't even have to give up their TV show. The best-selling exercise program in the history of infomercials is Walking Off the Pounds. You put in the DVD, you watch women in spandex walking in place while you stand up and you walk in place. Well, you can watch your favorite TV show and walk in place. You can watch Dancing with the Stars and actually pirouette in your own living room. You don't have to just be at a dance studio. So the best exercise is the one that the individual will do, any exercise. And 3 10-minute bursts of energy a day will increase your heart health, and it'll get you up to 10,000 steps a day. Just got to do it.
There you go.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Well, obviously, you've had a lot of success with PGX. Can you tell us some of your success stories?
Oh, my gosh. I had an email come to me a couple of days ago from one. She's a nurse. Her name is Laura Faul, and she has lost 189 pounds with PGX. She had a baby, she gained 70 pounds back in her pregnancy, got right back on PGX, and it all came off. She wants my job. She wants to be the spokesperson. She should. She's amazing. She's a size 0 now. But I have seen people from every gamut of life, every spectrum of whether they wanted to lose 10 pounds or whether they needed to lose 100 or more. I have seen this product hands down, time after time after time, work for the individual. But more impressive than the weight loss is the health benefit. Seeing people who are stabilizing their blood sugar, seeing people who are getting rid of that feeling of hunger, that makes my job so much easier.
Wow. 189 pounds.
189 pounds. Now, I had someone lose 175 pounds with just vice busting. She gave up her worst habits one at a time. Over 18 months, she lost 185 pounds. She asked me to be in her wedding. She was getting married after she lost all this weight. She was on the cover of a women's magazine promoting my book, my method, my methodology. And she said, will you be in the wedding? I said, absolutely. Oh my gosh, I'd love to be. She told me where to get the dress. And in that conversation, she said, now, Julia, I want to get skinny. You know, it's my wedding. I'm going to be the bride. I want to get skinny. I'm going to go on the Body for Life diet. What do you think? And I said, well, Val, you know, you look great. You don't need to lose any weight. You know, she's not skinny, but she had a good figure. And I said, but, you know, if you really want to do it, I'll support you in it, but I don't think you need to. Well, you've heard of the plans, the Sunday free diet. You can do whatever you want on Sunday, day off diet. That's what this particular diet was. Well, with me, for 5 years, she had not consumed her vices. She hadn't had ice cream. She hadn't had Rally's burgers. She hadn't had soft drinks. But that very first Sunday, she did, because she earned it. You know, it was her free day. Within 3 months, she gained 65 pounds back.
Boy.
Because she kept, like Tuesday, her fiance said, you went to Rally's without me, let's go. So that night she made it the next week Sunday. Well, before long she was out of Sundays to negotiate with and 65 pounds back on her body. Now, that same young woman, when I heard that she had gained all this, I got down to her wedding. When I started taking PGX and I saw how it worked for me, I sent it to her. And she's finally turning the corner and starting to be able to recontrol her vices because this helped give her control.
All right, good for her.
Yeah. So I tell people, if you can't control having some, you're better off having none. Vices control us. I mean, we're not overweight as a society because we can handle the foods we love in moderation.
Well, seeing it's spring, I have a weakness for ice cream, so I'd like to lose a little bit of weight myself. So if I wanted to get started tomorrow, you have any tips on what I need to do?
Drink half your body weight in fluid ounces of water. If an individual weighs 300 pounds, I want them drinking 150 ounces of water a day. That's the first change I'd like to see anybody make. If they're drinking other beverages, that's fine, but they cannot drink them until they've gotten their daily intake of water. You will not believe what that does for a person's health. It's tremendous, easy first place to start. Then I'd like for you to think about your life. You said a weakness for ice cream. If you're not eating ice cream every single night in, half a gallon quantity, it's probably not a vice. But figure out what your vice is. A vice is any food, drink, or action that an individual does on a regular basis that they know is unhealthy, that they know is contributing to their excess weight, and you just cut that out. And then you want to make your life really easy and have it work really well for you. Head by the store and pick up some PGX and start taking it. Because they used to have a slogan that said, PGX will change your life, even if you don't. And I didn't like that slogan very much because we still want people to change their life. But even if someone didn't change, this is going to help them lose weight, period. But change and take this, I'm going to change the world.
Yeah. Well, Julia, before we close up, is there any last words, anything you'd like to share with our viewers?
Well, I'd like to tell them that there's hope. I think that's the best compliment I've ever been given by anybody that's read my book. There's hope. They can go about this in a healthy manner and gradually, slowly lose the weight. And anybody watching this today, all they need to do is go to pgx.com. They can download a copy of my book. They can download my workbook and all of my audios. Time Life filmed an infomercial for it. It used to sell for $997. Now it's absolutely, totally free. It's courtesy of Everything Natural and PGX. And they can get all of my help free, no questions asked, and then head into the store, check out PGX, see what you think. And I can't wait to get the email in 6 months saying, I can't believe it. You promised me it would work, and it did.
Okay. Well, outside of the internet, is there any stores in the area where we can find PGX?
Everything Natural has it.
Everything Natural.
Yeah, they have it in there, and they have any questions can be answered there. Their staff is really knowledgeable. I spent a few hours there when I was in town doing a lecture, and I was really amazed at just my own health. I was asking about a vitamin B6, and they said, this is the really good one, this is what you need to take. So they're very, very knowledgeable.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for joining us. With me today was Julia Havey, and she's a spokesperson for PGX, and it was a very good conversation. Thank you. It was very informative.
Thank you. And I want to get your email when you've taken off your spring weight that you want to do.
All right. All right. So we'll be right back after this short message.